A life was taken. And, I don't know if there's ever any real justice for that, I guess,
Hey everyone, I'm Anna Rumor with Pop Culture, here with Jessica Biel and Melanie Lynskey to talk about Hulu's brand new series, 𝐾ANDY. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Jessica, right off the bat, what was it that drew you not only to the story of 𝐾ANDY Montgomery, but the role of 𝐾ANDY?
Well, she's such a fascinating person, and the story is just too crazy to be real, almost, is what it feels like to me. But I just love the pathology of a character like that, and I'm just interested in humans and why they do the things that they do. And I always think like, wow, we're all capable of anything, and I like to put myself right at the edge there and look over and like, am I capable of this? Those are the questions that I'm always asking myself, specifically with a project like this. And the writing was just so wonderful. It was just so beautifully told, and just really had no doubt about wanting to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And Melanie, same with you, but about Betty.
It was a similar feeling. I'm sorry. I read the scripts and I just was so taken by the detail in them. I loved all the little moments where they just show the mundanity of the suburban life that these women were leading and how much was placed on their shoulders, how much they had to do every single day, how exhausted they both were, and how you slowly get to know both of them. And then it all culminates at the end of the show in this way that's so shocking. I just was like, wow, this is told in a structure that I think is so compelling. And also, I'm a huge fan of Jess, so I wanted to work with her.
Right back at you.
Well, and as involved in the story as you both are now, looking back at it, do you think that justice was done? I know it's a tough question.
Very tough question. And I don't feel like I can often be on one side or the other of that, because I wasn't there, and this was such a wild case, and we just don't know where everyone's mindset were at that point. But a life was taken, and I don't know if there's ever any real justice for that, I guess.
Yeah. What about you, Melanie?
I feel like it would be impossible for me to answer without any bias, because I was so protective of Betty. I felt a great love for her. And it's a tragedy. Like her little kids had to grow up without their mother. It's awful.
Yeah. And she is a tragic character.
Yeah.
Is that why you felt so kind of protective of her?
Yeah, very much. I wanted to make sure her story was told in the fullest way possible, that you got an understanding of the fact that she was a woman who was really struggling and had absolutely no help in any respect, and just the loneliness of that, of being somebody who needed help and was getting it from nowhere in the time when everyone was supposed to just be like, oh, I got married, so that's the rest of my life set. It's a very heartbreaking thing, the whole story.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. I can't wait for everyone to see the show. It's really beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I'm Anna Rumor with Pop Culture, here with Pablo Schreiber and Timothy Simons to talk about Hulu's brand new series, 𝐾ANDY. Welcome.
Thank you. Is that Dolly Parton behind you?
It is, of course. I got to have a Dolly watching over.
I love that. Hey, Dolly.
Well, this show is so interesting. The true story is fascinating. How did each of you go through to prepare to play Alan and Pat? And was there anything about them that really surprised you?
First, just absorbing all the material. First thing was the scripts, reading the scripts, getting all the scripts that Robin had written and taking them in as they existed as a piece, first of all and foremost, and figuring out my job within the story. Then absorbing some of the research that she had done to write the scripts, learning a little bit about the case, about who the people were involved, and some of, speculating on some of their desires and motivations and things like that, and piecing it all together, and then surrendering myself to an experience that felt really incredibly creative and fulfilling, with a whole bunch of other amazing artists that were doing their jobs really well. So
yeah. What about you, Timothy?
Sort of the same. It all, I know obviously based on a true story, but we weren't trying to go photorealistic. We weren't
right.
We're doing like a dramatic interpretation of it. So we did a lot of research, did a lot of reading, went through all the court transcripts. They had done a lot of research for it, but it all came back to Robin's scripts and sort of what she was trying to say with it and what she was trying to say with those, and really just kind of honing in on that. All the other research was helpful, providing a base for characters or ideas or seeds of ideas. But it was really just getting back to Robin's scripts. And I think the thing that surprised me the most, that I talked a lot about at the beginning when I first showed up in Atlanta, and when I was first talking with Robin and our director, Michael Uppendahl, about it, was about why Pat chose to stick around when Tim Simons read the scripts, and I was like, well, certainly at some point, this guy's going to take off. He's going to tap out at some point. And he really stuck around. So that was like the first question that surprised me, of like, why did he do that? And that being such a surprising choice, trying to figure out why he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and Jessica plays Candy in such an electric way. Is that kind of the answer for you? Or what is it about her both in real life and in her performance that was such a draw?
Well, Jessica is sort of a magnetic person, and she's an incredible performer. And she's also, like, on camera, she's incredible, and she's also fantastic on set. And I do think it's interesting that everybody that talked about Candy talked about her in that same way. She had a sort of magnetism. People were drawn to her. She was she was incredibly social. She gave everybody the sense that it was like that you were having a good time if you were around her. You know what I mean? And Jesse also has that as a performer, which I think is cool from the real life person and the actor portraying her.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I can't wait for everyone to see the rest of the show.